Hey babe, welcome back. Thank you once again for joining us. Just remember, I have no medical background. I am not a psychologist. I'm just a girl who's lived life and happy to share her experiences. Enjoy. And so the enemy, what he then did was he created a community for me. And we know just from watching people that there are voices that speak. Oh gosh, I sound like a lunatic, but I want to put this out the way it is. Hey babe, how you doing? How have you been? How was your week? My week was good. It was serene. It was very quiet. It was to me, it's always nice to have mommy time, and I had a lot of that this week. So my name is Thembie from iThink, iWrite, iThink, iPray, and iThink, iRead. And if you're new to this channel, please do subscribe. Click the notification bell so that you can get alerts whenever we load a new episode. But also, if you've been here from day one, thank you so much. You're the reason someone like me still smiles, because I see your little subscription, I see your little comment, and it brightens up my day. It may not feel like much to you, but for me, it literally is the reason I smile sometimes, just knowing that you're there supporting all the way. God bless you for that. So because I had lots of time to think, lots of time to go into my brain and find myself, I also had time to do a lot of watching of programs, and I also had a lot of time to listen to lots of things and to read. And one of the things that hit me hardest, and I pray, and I'm trying by all means to keep this as upbeat as possible, because I don't want to trigger anything, in people's hearts and in their lives. I just want to speak from the perspective of my past, but bring it into your current and prayerfully take you into your future, so that at the end of the day, we are all living healthy lives, spirit, soul, and body, and we are content, spirit, soul, and body. So I had time to finally watch 13 Reasons Why. And I had avoided watching 13 Reasons Why because I didn't want it to take me on a journey that I wasn't ready for. And if you don't know it, it's a Netflix production. It's got 3 seasons, and it starts off, and I'm still in season 1. It starts off with, a girl leaving tapes about why she committed suicide and pointing out to different people how they brought her to that place. Now, because we're doing the series Begin Again, and if you go back to that particular series, I'll put the information here. If you go back to that particular episode, point number 4 was accountability. And I didn't delve deeply into it, and this is what I want to delve into in the next few weeks. But I don't want to talk about accountability in the sense of you having to. I want to talk about accountability in the sense of you needing to. And I want to talk about safe ways of accountability. But I'm not going to talk about it in point form. I'm going to speak about it bringing out the stories that I have in my life and where it would have been important for me to be able to share what I was going through so that I didn't hit against walls. I had a conversation with my mom this week, and my mom said, and she reminded me of a statement that she has said all her life. And she said, "Ungazibona empilweni ungasela muntu okwanisa ukukutshela lutho, or umuntu omesabayo, or umuntu ohamba kuye uyokhuluma kuye, uzibone usuwumuntu ofileyo." Which means, if in life you find yourself without someone you respect, fear, someone who can speak into your life and you listen, somebody who can, hear you out, then consider yourself as dead. Because in the African culture, in the African community, we say umuntu ngumuntu ngabantu, which means you are human, you are a person, you are considered a dignified human being, you're considered a safe human being because of other people around you. And so I realized that the reason why Hannah in the series and Thembie in real life got to a point where escape in a certain way, which is suicide, was an option, is because in that particular space, I was talking to no one. I was sharing with no one. I was acting like everything was okay. because that's what was expected. And because I didn't share these parts of me, or maybe I did, but not with the right person, I don't know. But I don't remember sharing it until it was too late. And when I dropped this bomb on certain people, at that point, their reaction was violent and harsh. And I see it also, and I haven't finished, because it's a series that is reflective on so many things that I felt I experienced. And it's also a series that reflects on so many responses that I felt I received. Responses like, everybody goes through this. Why? She just needed the attention. She just wanted more attention than everybody else. This is nothing new. The Bible says there's nothing new under the sun. So probably the things I went through were not new, but everybody was experiencing it, or everyone had gone through a bit of it. And why did I think that I needed, extra care? It has responses like, I didn't take you for granted. I didn't think you were not good enough. I didn't think that you were incapable. It had responses like, I've done my part. I've done enough. I literally had someone who hung up the phone on me and said, well, I've done my part and that's it, And I get it. I get what it felt like to be the person on the other side. But maybe what I want to talk about is being the person on, this side. So a friend of mine, I say a friend, but not really. It's Facebook, social media friend, put up a post and said, second year of being on Zoom calls in pajamas and sweatpants. And it hit hard. And it doesn't make sense that it hit hard, but it did. Because it made me realize that there's so many people's lives that have been adjusted. Yes, the reactions there were laughter. Yes, the reactions there were jokes here and there. And where, but there was one person who said, yeah, that's the new normal. And we've expected people to adjust into it and to accept it and to walk in it. But there's some people who just cannot handle it. They don't know what's going on, even today. So you'll find that there are people that still don't understand this concept of new normal. There are voids that have been created in their lives. They don't get to go to the office, meet with their friends, and have that conversation or that cup of tea, at the cafeteria. They don't get to drive around. They don't get to sit in the taxi anymore. And that has created a void. Now, this is where accountability comes in. There is no way for them to share the things they used to share anymore. And so those things become a burden on them. Now, life hates a vacuum. And because life hates a vacuum, it will find a way to fill it. And generally, when you're in the vacuum of silence, when you're in the vacuum of not being around your community, a different community will create itself in you. And that community comes as your thoughts. So this is what happened to me. All along, I believed in the concept of accountability. But somewhere along the line, I found that accountability became subjugation. It meant I couldn't do anything anymore. The way that it had been, brought out to me, I couldn't do anything anymore without telling somebody. And so when I withdrew from that and I began to fight that, because there comes a time in your life where you fight certain things that you've always known, I created a vacuum in my head. And I wasn't sharing as much because the people I had shared with had hurt me. And, bayakhuluma nje bathi baza kuhurta. Can't get it right. Baklauhurda. So they had hurt me and I had naturally taken a back step. How they hurt me, we'll get into that another day. But this is why 13 Reasons Why mattered to me. People will do things, say things, react in a certain way that will get you stepping back because it's hurtful, it's hard, you can't handle it. But at the same time, you have to understand that vacuum of you stepping away means something else is going to have to fill it. And this is where my darkest times came. The enemy, and I'm speaking from a Christian point of view, I know that depression is a chemical imbalance, serotonin, what, But I also know that it is a spiritual attack. And for me, it was gravely a spiritual attack. So where I had a community, I now was on my own. And remember, the power of secrecy is in its sin. The power of sin is in its secrecy. And so the enemy, what he then did was he created a community for me. And we know just from watching people that there are voices that speak. Oh gosh, I sound like a lunatic, but I want to put this out the way it is. I stepped away from the people that I had spoken to or used to speak to or was accountable to, and I didn't replace them with anything or anyone. And because I didn't replace them, I created a void. And because I created a void, the enemy came in. And I had voices that came in and began to speak. Now that sounds like psychosis. It really isn't. It's something that so many people are facing right now. It's their thoughts. It's their mind. Their mind is saying, okay, so what is life? What more do you have? What more can you have? If this is the way things are after just a year and a half, what will they be like at the end of the year? It's the darkness that comes and says, look at your children. Is this all they will ever know of you? It's the darkness that comes and says, look at the decisions you made. Had you not left that job before lockdown, maybe you'd still have it. Had you not left that place before lockdown, the initial lockdown, maybe you'd still be standing. It's the voices that come to you and condemn you. Voices that come and tell you how much of a failure you are, how you'll never pick yourself up again, how look at how others were able to bounce right back immediately after things were shut down. They opened a business, they're thriving. Where are you? They're those people. Some of them still come to work online with us. They're having to live in that small apartment and sit in front of that computer and find and navigate their way around life. They no longer have distractions that come through and say, hey, did you hear that there's a concert on Friday? Did you hear that there's a party? I'm inviting you to such and such a space. And so they're now caught up in their own brain. And that is the darkness that I want to speak about. And I'm hoping that as I speak about this darkness, I'm hoping that as I take you on this journey of this darkness, I don't open doors for you to enter into that darkness, but instead I'm able to take you out of it. Because that darkness is detrimental. It's the darkness that makes you feel like there is no hope for your life, but there is. That darkness is avoidable. I know human beings, baklagu herda, right? But I also know that there are human beings out there that are for you, that will stand for you. Even if they have no advice for you, they will stand with you and hold your hand. It's better to walk with a friend than to walk it alone. 1 can put 1,000 to flight, 2 can put 10,000. As I take this journey through my own darkness, through the voices that spoke to me, through how I was told by my community, my newfound community, that I was not a good enough mom, I was not a good enough daughter, I was not a good enough wife, I was not a good enough subordinate, I was not a good enough pastor's wife, I was not a good enough leader, mentor. The voices that came to me and they sat with me and had conversations, kind conversations, happy conversations, conversations that looked like they were illuminating my mind, conversations that said things like, yeah, but don't you think he'd be happier without you? Don't you think he needs a new wife to become a better pastor? Don't you think they need a new mother to become better children? Look at your daughter. Wouldn't she be happier with a happier mom? Wouldn't she? The voices that came to me and spoke to me like they were being kind to me, like they were giving me a solution out. I really don't know why I have to do this. But somehow I feel like there's so many people that have found themselves caught up in this new normal, and this new normal is tearing them down. It's breaking them down. Now, I'm not here because I fought it alone. Absolutely not. I then got to a point where I was forced into accountability with a friend, into accountability with a psychiatrist, into accountability with a counselor. And that's the only reason I'm here today. There is good accountability and there's terrible accountability. There's accountability that will leave you broken, and there's accountability that will leave you thriving. I'm hoping that if you've ever been in a position like I was in, where life hurt, but also life comforted you into thinking that escaping was the best way, I'm praying that as I speak to you in the next few weeks, because it's going to take a while, guys. It's going to take a while to explain how sexual abuse teaches you not to be accountable. It teaches you to hide things. It teaches you to be secretive. How bad experiences in your relationships where people hurt you, and the theory of Veyezela will teach you to be secretive to a point where it's detrimental to yourself. Oh my gosh, guys, you have no idea what it is to find yourself in a lonely, sad space. Maybe you don't, but for those who do, join me in the next few weeks. We're going to talk about how heavy that feeling is. But not only are we going to talk about how heavy that feeling is, we're also going to talk about how you can get out, because you can. I put out videos this week, and in those videos I was singing and I was dancing and I was enjoying my new hair. And I had so many comments saying, oh my gosh, why are you so excited? And I had to say to the people, and I had to put out a comment that said, guys, for those who know and for those who don't know, I almost died. I almost died. A lie of the fact that I was not worthy of life almost killed me. A lie that I had failed in life almost killed me. And now, when I have opportunities to laugh by myself, dance by myself, for me, that is grace. That is a complete grace. And I want to be able to lead you into that. I hate depression. I hate anxiety. I hate pain. I hate loneliness. I hate subjugation. I hate the feeling of being stuck. I hate it because I've experienced it, but not only that, because I've overcome it and I realized it was all a lie. So when I say to you, get out of the box, when I say to you, stop being fake, when I say to you, stop feeling harassed by the people and the opinions around you, oh, my passion and my anger is because I once was lost and now I'm found. I once was blind and now I see. Let's take this journey. Let's take it. Let's walk out of the feelings of depression, repression, suppression, pain, anxiety, stress, depression, whatever shin that you may be feeling. Let's take this journey and walk out of it. Your deepest, darkest secret doesn't have to be that. It doesn't. It can actually be your greatest liberty. God bless you. Have a great week. Let's walk into our victory. Our victory is certain because we stand on the promises of God. May you find rest. May you find peace. May you find joy in every single thing, in every single moment that you have. May God take you out of a place of pain, of struggle, of fear, and may He put you in a place of freedom, of liberty, because where the Spirit of the Lord is, there is liberty. I love you. God bless you. Have a stupendous week. Like, subscribe, share, comment. Let's talk about this. It's about to get lit in a sad but happy way, because eventually we win. God bless you.